Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the 440th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, July 7th, 2022. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department, and it's part of the Public Teachings in English. My name's Rick Crammond, and I'll be a host today for Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, who, as per usual in these weekly Knowledge Seekers workshops, will be presenting today's show. And I think he's ready to go. Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, good morning, good day to you, as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute's knowledge seeking and sharing knowledge with each other. This morning, Rick said, which intro do you want me to play? I said, you play the right one, whatever it is, as it usually comes up. And it's amazing. I wrote a couple of days ago, because of communication with members of Universal Council and other knowledge seekers around the world, which we usually communicate with. I wrote on a piece of paper what the topic today should be. And usually something to refer back to. And the reason it came in this way was because when we put the peace treaty out, if you read the original peace treaty article, it says, I commit my body and my soul to peace. And we had a number of people from South America, especially Brazil, that they wrote back to the foundation at that time, Mr. Keshe, we can commit our physicality, but not our soul, because our soul is committed to Christ, was his name. And now that we have developed the technology that man can see the strength of his soul, can see the extension of the soul of the man within and beyond the boundary of his physicality, the question comes to understand, is our soul committed to anything or anyone? Or is it committed to itself to be peaceful? We gave our physicality to slavery. And now that we understand the position and the strength of the soul of the man, do we still give our soul to slavery? That it'll be abused by the others in the names that they force and in a way brainwash us? Or we accept the freedom of totality in physicality and soul? Does the soul of the man now has a containment? Does a star, the light of a star, the beauty of a star in the depth of the universe has a limitation in how far its light shines, as is the point of the observer that allows it to be observed. So now, with the development of the new technologies, that we have managed to reverse the process where the sun became the creator of the physicality, and now in the new process, we change the physicality for the soul of the man to be what we call clothing it. What will be the future of the man? In the next week or two, as new people and other people who already been through the process in LINS go through the system, what would they see as new technologies has been added? This week we are closed as new systems is getting developed, that in next week we'll have new dimensions. We've seen and we have heard many of you going through the system that you feel the energy beyond you, the physicality is inside. We've seen many of you explaining how you connect to the system, even your left limbs, and you can connect to it instantly. I was talking to a number of people who've been, and they say they can connect to this and just immediately get to the position where they want. The reality is, as we learn more and more, do we need to dictate the position, or do we wish and we achieve the position? I go to sleep tonight and I want to see the dad because there's something I have to tell him. I need him to console, where he is on the other side of the world working, or he passed away years ago, but I always valued his opinion. Tonight, with the system you learned, you will meet with him if he's available to meet you, and the fathers always are. Now we understand that the limitation of what we call encapsulating, slaving the soul of the man is over. We hear this from the Universal Council member, that in a message left behind, that she wishes and happens the way she wishes. We hear from others who've been through the process. They do the same. Now it means we can dictate the life. We can endeavor to understand the knowledge. We can endeavor to see the community of the universe that is we are part of, and we always considered ourselves not to be part of. We have entered in the new dimension of the technology of what we call the movement of the energies of the universe, which our soul is part of. We have to understand that we have completed the knowledge in a way. As I said before, we came from the matter state, we changed to gases into energy state, and we can make anything we like. Now we manage to free the soul of the man to make what it likes and connect to what it likes. The only difference is now to get to the Father on the other side of the world, you not need to get on a jet plane and spend hours. As I said, with the new technology we go to, we don't fly to, because it's instantaneous. When you want water, you stretch your arm and you get the bottle or the glass and you drink the water. Now, with the new understanding, we create the same condition. You want to see the Father, you free the soul. You extend the soul. And in fact, his soul is irrespective of where he is, if he is in a physical dimension or he is the center of another star solar system, because of what he did during his time serving the humanity. Now we understand. With a new system which is coming into operation in Linz in the next few weeks, we shall not see, once you go through the soul's process, the physicality as we see in front of us on the screen. We see these individuals as lights. We see these individuals to light up the room. As the soul gathers strength and trust to manifest this. Then, in that process, we will be able to transmute as our wish to put the soul in a given position to transmute it. Or The soul, when it arrives in the dimension of the light in the system, then it decides where you want to go. With a new development and a progress in LINS, we have achieved and we will achieve and we deliver the transmutation of the soul of the man. This means, in a way, we turn the sheep skin inside out, where the skin was covering the soul. Now we turn it back. The soul is free, the soul is there, and the physicality within its dimension. We shall see the development of the progress of the soul of the man. That we allow the son of the man, the soul of the man, to travel the dimension of the universe. If the man is clear enough with himself, he will see where the Creator, according to the strength of his service to humanity and the universe and dimension of the soul, which he was not aware of, has predetermined, has allocated, has seen to be beneficial for the services to his creation. That will be the position of the soul in the universe or in the universe. In a way, it's like when you build a house, you go and find a plot, and then you dream what you want to do with it, and then you build your dream to become your home. With the technology which is in the hand of the man now, and is in basic form, fundamental form, is in this, those who are clear in the dimension of life do not need to wait to see the house, the position, the plot, the what they call destination of their souls in the universe, where they can see where the Creator, according to the strength of their soul, has allowed, has allocated, has given the strength of to be the position. You will see if you are a star of a solar system or you are a dust in the dust of one of his planets due to what you have done in time of the life of this planet. Whatever I promised you, I have delivered. Now, as was in the intro, what would your soul create? For the first time, man will have the opportunity to change his behavior, to change the cycle of life in where the soul shall be, because he will see the plot allocated to him. And if he likes that plot, if he likes to be in another position to serve better, and this allows a better, what we call cycle of creation of life in the universe, as you evolve yourself, as you educate yourself in a physical dimension, not to be a builder or a plumber, but you want to be a doctor and a professor, you educate yourself. Now man has the chance to do that. The systems we put in LINS is not just for you to come and dream and see what the dream is. It's for gradually for us to show you where you're destined for. What is the future holds for you when in the dimension of physicality, you decide to departure from the soul and the physicality from each other. Or you still can embed the physicality in, know where you're destined for. You want to be a better son, you want to serve better in the dimension of physicality, you change accordingly. Now the physicality remembers the dream of the soul, not the soul, the dream of physicality. Now man has the opportunity to bring that position forward. As I said to you before, if I show you everything in one go, you all commit suicide together. Because you think by ending your physical life, you will reach there. But in fact, what we show you, it shows you to extend your life to create a perfect soul, to create a condition for your soul to serve in the dominion of the creation and the Creator. in the best of its ability. In a way, do you want to be that uneducated and let the soul go uneducated in the universe, or educated where you want it to be, that it serves the best in the universe? It becomes the professor of the doctor of whatever value man has created for himself in the dimension of physicality, in the dimension of the universe and universe. This is the purpose of these systems, not just for you to come and drink, not for you to just come and go and see the mom and dad who passed away, or the brother who's another part. I recently, in the past few days, invited one of the richest women in one of the continents of this, what we call Earth, to come into the system. To come and see if the wealth is in the dimension of physicality, or she actually has gathered any wealth in the dimension of the soul. And then we see how people will handle, how people will change their life, how people, humanity as a whole, will come into it. As I've seen in correspondence with people, with members of the Universal Council, people are trying to use the Universal Council members to reach to the system, that they can elevate themselves. This is the process which actually will become. The soul of the Universal Council members become that enhancement unit. It becomes the point of reference for man, not to on this planet, but to see through their souls the light of the creation in the universe. That's what we call the Universal Council. This week, we released the same numbers of the new members of the Universal Council. There are now 24, and soon there will be 27 of the major languages of the world, with some 70 backup Universal Council supports. The Council are extended, and their job to support the soul of humanity for the transition of time of the knowledge has started. When we established the Universal Council was for the day like today, where the Universal Council members come to Linz, share their souls with the soul of each other, and connect to the rest of the soul of humanity and the universe. As the new members of the Universal Councils and the present Universal Council members make their way to Linz to go through the process, the whole process of interaction of the elevation of the soul of the man has started. The simulation system is not simulation for physicality. Simulation of the simulation system in Linz is actually the flight system method of the universe. But man is too blind to see. Listen to the experience of those who come, and we put it out, a few as testimonial. Then you understand. Again, you missed the train by just looking at the physicality. The whole purpose was to show that we can extend the soul to become independent. And now that it starts repeating itself and people connect more and more, now the souls will shine. Now we will see the essence of the creation, the reason we built these systems. The magnetic fields and power of magnetism has been around the man from the time of the creation of this planet. It took thousands of years and centuries for man to educate himself to use this hidden field to create energy you call electricity. Now, it's the same with the enhancement unit flight simulation. is to understand the energies which soul of the man creates and what light it will create and what it can be used for in the field of strength in the universe. It's a pleasure to share this knowledge. It's a pleasure for you to understand what is about to happen to the man. You have had the cars and the donkeys and the UFOs to carry your physicality. Now we give you the enhancement unit to travel the soul of the man, which has no dimension. It's not there for you to share the dreams. Those of you who come and share the dreams, you find out you connect yourself to the system for eternity. In a way, it becomes the earth soul in the dimension of the connection for the souls of the man who live this, what we call planet, in a different structure than physicality. We don't need to go to fairs to see something and come back and tell our children there is such a thing, and years later it appears as you see, I told you they were showing it in such a place. Now is in the market. The enhancement units, which are built as a simulation, are the twin stars of the soul of the physicality of the totality of the soul of the man on this planet. Then you understand how the process has started, what the next step is, how we allow you travel step by step, the soul travel, the physicality travel. In next few short times, many of you who went through the process of the enhancement unit simulation system, you'll find out you will be present and physicality can be asleep, and you do a lot of things and you come back and the physicality is there. Everybody tells you you're asleep, you were snoring, but in fact, you say, I was awake, I was doing this and that, but because the soul is doing it, the physicality is in position. In a way, physicality needs the rest time. The soul of the man has no time to rest. We see the changes. This is the whole purpose of the enhancement unit. For you not to become to see that, for you to become aware of your soul, that what it can do, you can see that anytime you wish. Today, man says, when I go to the other side, I see my mom and dad. You don't need to go to the other side to see the mom and dad. You see the mom and dad because the other side is leaving or in a way encapsulating the physicality that the mom and dad are there. It's just like you've been locked into a room in a house and everybody else is doing whatever they like in the house. It's you who's been locked out. The rest are having a party because you've been a naughty child. You have not done what you were supposed to do, and you did not understand what's the rule of the party, how you have to behave. Now we open that door. You'll make some mistakes, you make some adjustments, but overall, humanity will reach that point. The new enhancements units, which many of you will start going through from next Tuesday, will show you a new dimension. Will bring you to experience and live a new dimension, not while you are in the system, when you leave the system. In a way, you have found access point to go through to any position in the dimension of the creation. And Earth is not anymore 1,000 light away from another star, it's instantaneous arriving at another star. The way you have seen those who give testimony, they don't travel to, as we said before, they go to instantly. We do not disclose the designs because mankind is not even ready to understand the simplicity of the process, but the complexity of the knowledge which leads to simplicity. I have made this knowledge so simple that anyone can do, but no one can do it if it's not the mind. You will see in the new enhancement unit, new features, new understanding, new elevation levels, more closer. Those of you who came to see, to be, to feel the presence of the prophets of the God, you shall achieve it from now on. If you have put yourself to be in the position of the direction that you have been true to your belief. Many people who have been through the system in the past 3-4 weeks, they tell us they feel the presence of Christ. They feel the presence of someone so and so. But now, with the new development, we allow you, we give you the opportunity to sit with them, to be present with them, and to bring back the messages which they truly gave to their followers. There is one thing for sure, and that's for sure. We see the end of Catholicism. We shall see the end of the path of the belief in many, many ways of religions, because now we will see the 24 commandments with our own eyes and not filtered the way mankind has been abused by putting them aside, destroying them, and the rest. When Moses was given the 24 commandments, it was written in the pen of the soul, not on the stone. When we see the new way, we can interact and bring the changes the new way. It's no use trying to overcome and change the climate warming by trying to capture the CO2s. Is to create a new system that you don't need the cars and the heating to create the CO2s. The planet will heal itself in time. The Industrial Revolution, from what is coming from the teaching and the work in the center in Linz, will fundamentally change the life of the man. We will see new technologies in the science of the universe, not in the science of the earth, will emerge. We are not only emergers, we are the cause of it. We bring it out for you to develop it. We'll see new sciences in the next few months appears out of nowhere, like the computers which came out of nowhere and we all got used to it. We'll start educating our children in the knowledge of the universe, not in the color and the structure of the physicality or chemistry or biology. In the next few months, as we lay out more and more advanced systems in Linz and then spread around the world, we'll see emergence of the universal knowledge, universal education, and universal understanding of the world. Our children will not speak about going from London to New York. Our children will speak to go to another planet, another satellite for lunch and come back, Mama being there. When your child goes to camping with a group of friends in New York, when he comes back and he says, Mama, I did this and this and that, they have these things, this and that, do you disbelieve her? Now We have to believe when they come back and say, on this planet, on this part of the universe, there is such and such a thing, such and such. And all we say, did you enjoy yourself? Did you learn from it? What gift can you give me from that knowledge? We do not need even the verbal words to communicate. The soul of the child will enlighten us with the knowledge it's gathered on its trip. The horizon of the man has changed. And in the coming time, with the systems which we have put into operation in a very simple way, in lens, we have started that door, the gateway to the universe, to enlighten for the man to understand that the soul of the man has no limitation. Many of you have come from Italy, and you're still coming in. We can't stop the Italians flooding the system. How many of you have written to Vatican and invited the Pope? How many of you have asked your priests and religious leaders to come and test the system? They will say, no, something wrong. This is something what we call Antichrist. Because once they go in, they find out they've been anti about the reality of the soul of the Christ. Because, as we say, the hand of false magicians opens up. Invite the world religious leaders to come to this. Invite the world leaders to come to this. You wrote to them for a peace treaty, write to them for to come and meet their own soul. And then we'll see what we get. It's your responsibility to do this. It's your responsibility to create the next step of the work, not us. We reach the soul. We're here to teach you the mechanism for you to learn how to use the arm of the soul of the man to be able to create a new condition for man, not locked up to the physicality of this planet, but the span of the universe. You have heard in the testimonials, people go to the oceans, they go to jungles, and now we've seen 2 or 3 people going to the same jungle and are from different nationalities and different parts of this world. Make your way to Linz, especially Universal Council members and Universal Council support members, that you establish the link for the creation of the new soul of the man for this planet in connection with the soul of the planet. And bring that change. Bring that process of change. We can bring you to the water. We cannot make you to drink unless you're thirsty for the love of the Creator and to travel the span of the universe and unify the soul of the man, that in totality, the whole soul of the creation on this planet changes. In a way, in the world of the creation of the man, we call it the evolution. Evolutionary changes. Now this is the evolution in the soul of the man, in the science of the creation and the universe. And you have no choice. The seed is sown and is growing, and with it comes the whole process of understanding the process of creation and the creator. As I said last week, and I explained to our team, now I explain to you in a very simple way. As you noticed last week, we launched the enhancement unit, power enhancement units, the energy units, and what we call plasma enhanced packages, which is put for sale by the Keshe Foundation. Why did we do this? Why suddenly, in the depth of the work of the Keshe Foundation with the enhancement units simulation system, we suddenly launched the energy system? The reason for it is that the MAGRAV units you created, the systems you were given never understood, and the necessity for the people who came to the enhancement simulation flight system, we saw a need for expansion of the plasma. That's what I told you earlier on today, that you will become the sun, you become a star in the system. We needed to introduce a powerful power system to go to the transition of the both physicality and the soul of the man. When we launched such a thing for the system, we decided that we'll let the humanity enjoy the trip. The new energy systems, which is launched by the Keshe Foundation, is not just for powering your house. It's the first step into allowing your soul in connection with the work of the Keshe Foundation to find a new dimension ready for the transmutation and transportation in coming time. Go back to my teachings for past years. I kept on telling you, I give you the dimension, the beauty of the MAGRAV, and you were just only interested in 50% or 10%. Now, with the new MAGRAV system, we guarantee you 50% reduction. Because this system is actually, the new system is created for the elevation of the soul of the man, energy of the cosmos. And I kept on telling you, you're looking at the crumbs. The new power generation unit will come with attachments in the next few weeks that you can literally do, feed, and do everything else, plus your energy saving at home. It's the beginning of the cycle of connecting to what we call Lin Center. It's the key to bringing the matter energy and the universal energy together, where you connect both to the energies of the house and you connect to the energy of the universe, and then you understand how evolution of the man will come into operation. These are like those portable generators where you buy when you live in the middle of the desert to light the house. These are there to light the soul of the man. It's worth millions, and it's been put out for nothing, for man to go through that transmutation. It's the first time we release this technology in a very simple way, because man makes everything so complicated. When you buy or you get the enhancement, new enhanced power unit, plasma power unit, don't look for reduction in the electricity bill. Understand that you have brought the first step into the passage of the elevation of your soul in your dimension, in understanding and moving forward from the dimension of physicality. In a way, I have given you a system, a simple technology that can be there all the time, even in a matter state looks is not working. Is there for you to achieve the elevation to understanding of the soul of the man by yourself. You don't need intermediaries, you don't need prophets, you don't need messengers. This is why in my papers I wrote, the scientists are the messengers. Because with scientific development, we finish with the theology of the mysticism. Because you are in charge, it can be repeated. When it can be repeated and done by many people, it's not misreading. It cannot be manipulated anymore. The new energy enhancement units are the passage to the dimension of the universal energy. And this is what I kept on telling you, and I just said, you looked for 20-30% meager reduction in the electric bill. And I kept on telling you, look at the power of the megawatt. Now, with this technology, which we have released as a mega energy, this is the first step for you to get into that system. To understand it, you can live dual life of both the soul of the man and the physicality of the man. This is what we promise. The man become aware of his existence. We are providing these systems as what we call the guarantee certain percentage in your electric because you're interested in that. That's all it is. But those who are there to go to the next steps of what we call enhancement in the dimension of universal energies, this is your gateway. This is your way to get to it. This is the way where I kept on telling you, I gave you the kick and you went for the crime. Now the crumbs have gone. The cake is on the table. But you have to understand how to use this cake, not only for the soul, but to support the physicality in the same dimension too. You are blind to the sight of the soul. Now you shall see through the eye of the soul. You do not need the electricity to light up the room. The launch of this new system is so fundamental and will change the whole structure of the humanity in the coming time. It's as I said before, they say the most important discovery and evolution in science of man was creation of the wheel. When we made the wheel, we could carry more weights. The evolution in the soul of the man and the new life for mankind is the circle of the ball of the sphere of the plasma, which still rotates, but this time rotates on its own with the energies of the universe. Now you understand. When we explain that in the coming time, those of you who go through the enhancement unit, because we create the facilities for it, you'll become the light. You become the use and elevation and manifestation of your soul. And no one needs to confirm or deny because you become aware of what you will do and your life changes because of it. And the people who you touch in the dimension of the soul will change with it. Because now you give them a new energy. You transfer a new dimension to them. You feed them with a new strength. The process of the transmutation of the soul will come through the understanding of the new knowledge. And it's your responsibility, those of you who listen today, or you listen in months' time or years' time to this podcast, to understand that you have been given the same light as was given as a light to Moses in the mountain, the same fire as the other soul. Now, it's you was responsible to turn that fire on and meet it and perfect it. And this time, don't cheat it and don't break some stones because it doesn't suit you or you want to abuse the others. Because you got to understand that the whole of the creation of humanity now has access to the same fire and to the same light in the mountain. And that light is the light of knowledge of the Creator and nothing else. It's not a burning tree and it's nothing else that is shine out of anywhere. Now, as I said, the knowledge of the man has reached the level of the prophets of the past, because now you understand the knowledge came from the light, which now you have access to. There can be no ayatollahs, and there cannot be no popes and no pops, because you see the truth. You see the elevation of the soul of the man in his own dimension, and not with filtering to suit. My responsibility is to make sure more and more systems are around the world that everybody get access to it. This is why we set the Keshe Foundation Manufacturing, to manufacture the systems that are there, that people do not need to go to the church to read the man-tainted wishes and abuses in the book. They can go and see the light by themselves. Now you understand my process of teaching and why we taught as we have done. We brought you step by step to this point. We brought you step by step to see the beauty of the creation. And when you can touch it, and when you can feel it, and when you can enjoy its presence. Now you understand the next step of what we call the process is not anymore teaching you how to make things and what fits to where. All that has been done is for you to add up and understand the whole process. And we have set out to make it easier. And hopefully in the next couple of months, you will see systems which can fly you across the universe through the dimension of your soul and not the dimension of your physique. It is for us to enjoy the beauty of the creation, the beauty of the freedom of the soul of the man. And all we are doing in Linz is show you the way. We haven't made you a temple to go to pray and worship. It's a place, it's an education center where you go to learn to educate your soul, how to be free, how to be able to travel the dimension of the universe, and how not to be trapped within the dimension of physicality. It's a place of knowledge. Then it's your job is to come to learn and then share this knowledge with the rest of the humanity and the creatures of this planet and beyond. As I said last week, man up to now considered himself to be sitting on a donkey, and those creatures of the universe having the UFOs. And now, with the knowledge we have given you, man has become the holder of the knowledge of the creation, and those in the UFOs are those who are sitting on the donkey, and we, how simple the Creator has shared the knowledge of creation with the man. As I said before, when it comes to the time of Mitra, the physicality of Mitra in the dimension of this manifestation of his children, the whole universe community will come to Earth to see the beauty and why this gift has been given to man. after all the wrong things man has done. And the reason for it was only because of the beauty of this planet and the love of Mitra for its dimension and condition. She brought the Creator as a lover follows to see what the other lover has seen, to share the same beauty and love. Go back in all the teachings, and if you understood the teaching, you can build the enhancement units for what we call flight. But the secret is in every word and every sentence, and not just in the dimension of physicality of putting something together. Understand that the time of the evolution of the science has come, and man has moved to a new dimension. This is one of the reasons that the King of Belgium, with all its might, bribed the others in what we call public televisions and radios to block the Keshe Foundation not to be shared. But the only thing this stupid man never understood was the fact that we communicate to the soul of the man. And he still thought he's very good. We reach the soul of the man through the whole communication of the universe, not but meager light flashing on the screen somewhere to make a picture of shameful kings. Now you understand why we are not bothered. Because once you start coming and the people come and see and they interact, who needs television? Who needs radio? Because you become the visualizer of the reality. If you can see and feel the presence of the Christ, ask them, can you show me a television which can do this? And then you understand you have entered a new dimension. You have entered and brought yourself, educated yourself, and educate yourself further in this process by the totality of understanding. Our work has not finished. It has just begun. And in so many ways, I'm not worried about what happens physically to the Keshe Foundation, the structure around the world, because now we're building the Keshe Foundation within the soul of the man, the freedom of the soul. And they are building everything around it. Because now, as more and more of you go through the what we call simulation system and the new ones coming out, we create that dimension of what we call star formation that allows us to become the center of the what we call the knowledge, center of the communication with the rest of you. And we will see the process of the knowledge sharing will become instantaneous. Soon you will understand what I mean. Soon you will understand that you do not need to go through a medical school to become or have the knowledge of a doctor when your physicality needs one, because you extend the soul of the man beyond the physicality and you will see the change of the man in the dimension of physicality without any medicine. We have had this with a number of knowledge seekers who went through the system. They never told us what they had, what the condition was, and when they came out, they said the changes happened. Because the soul has expanded beyond the dimension of physicality, and in bringing balance, it will change everything. People who could not sit, now they sit in a position they never thought they could because of the pain of physicality. People who could not see with the eye because they were blind or they had a problem. People who had all sorts of conditions because of the expansion of the what we call plasma of the soul of the man, everything has to become balanced inside. We are not giving you a wellness system. We are giving you a universal flight system. In that system, everything has to be perfect, and your physicality is part of it. It's not a wellness, is what we call the life of the soul. And the soul is always looks for perfection, balance, correction. And if the soul of physicality allows it, will bring that change. Don't come with wishes, but come with a love. And then you understand what will happen to your physicality. At the moment when you come out of the system, we are interested to know where you've been, what you've done, because we have to tune the system. In the next few weeks, we will not ask any question because the system will be perfect for delivery of its work. It's you who has to know what you achieved once you went in there, once you took the trip, once you made that change. When we used to do helping people with all sorts of what we call conditions which their physicality was in pain or suffering. When I used to make the cups and people used to come and take them and drink from them. And then when they used to come after a couple of times visit, they say, I have a problem. I forgot to drink the water, or I forgot to breathe, or I forgot to do such a thing you asked me. In past few weeks, this happened quite a few times. They're apologetic. And I used to tell them, can you bring them back? Because your use for them is finished. When you don't need it, you don't use it. It means we have achieved what we came here for. When you're not hungry, when you don't feel hungry, you don't eat. When we have brought the system to a balance in the dimension of physicality, you don't need to take more water. To them was a bad news, but to me was the best news, which means I achieved what I built for them to achieve. And I used to explain to them that this is what I've been waiting for you to forget to drink or to use the system, which means you don't need it anymore. You have achieved your goal. And they used to look at them, most of them said, you're right, everything has changed. Now it's the same way with the enhancement unit. We create a condition. It's you who has to understand what has happened to you and what you have achieved, what you came to achieve. But in a background, you covered yourself. I came for a bowl of peace. I came for this. I came for that. But subconsciously, I have many physical problems and emotional problems. When you leave the system, then consider, I didn't see any world leaders to create the world peace. I gave my soul, oh, but this and this and this and this has changed. And I feel different about this. And I know something I didn't know before. And I have different dimensions and position with the rest. I always say, there's an old story in Persian culture where there was a prince. And the prince thought is a cow and he wanted to be slaughtered as a cow. The king brought the best physicians. Nobody could do anything for him, as he was supposed to be the next king. But now he felt he had the psychological condition that he's a cow and he wants to be slaughtered. Comes a simple physician. He brings a rope and a big nail. He hammers the nail to the ground, ties the rope to it, and the other end of the rope to the neck of the prince. He says to the prince, I bought you. Now I cannot sell a skinny cow in the market. You have to fatten yourself up that I can get money back for what I paid. And then I slaughter you, because then it's worth the money. In the process of the prince wanting to become fat, to be slaughtered, he gave the medicine, he gave the knowledge to his body. And then one day the prince says, what's this doing around my neck? Why am I being chained to the nail on the ground? And the physician explained, in a slow way, I brought you to where you should be. And this is what I've done to the humanity. In a small knowledge sharing, step by step, I have brought you to see the beauty of the matter in the world of creation. And this has been my job. And up to now, we have fulfilled. And there's more to come for this cow to be released to enjoy the pasture of the universe and not to be slaughtered as is ready for that. It comes to the point that the knowledge in its totality has been given to you by teachings and in the books. It's for you to decipher. And if you do not have the time, it's like what you do at home. You can make a beautiful Chinese food at home. You don't have time. You don't have the ingredients. You go to the Chinese restaurant or you order Chinese food. Many of you do not have the collective knowledge to build, to deliver what we think or what we have and you enjoy. It's for you to order, to get to it and to find a way to access to it, because then once you get the new Chinese, you learn the new ways and you cook for the others to enjoy what you enjoyed yourself. And now this is the process. We have brought you a new pasture, a new feed, a new way to feed your souls through the technology. And it's for you to learn it, or to learn to use it and extend your soul beyond the present dimensions of you need 10,000 light years to get to the next star. I don't need to, because I can do it instantaneously through the fields of the universe. Now you understand what I said many times before. If you can see a star in the skies, you can be on that star instantaneously, and you can ask the person next to you, shall we go to there? And both of you will go there. You enjoy the presence of time in their high fields. And when you come back, it's like when you go on holidays and you have a trip together and you went on a safari and you enjoyed it and you talk what you saw in the safari. The biggest problem for most of you will be to, in a short term, to get the others to understand what you've done, where you've been, and how you did it, and they come to accept the reality. Now you travel with the soul or physicality. The whole knowledge has been shared, and the whole knowledge is put in a system to share. that is not anymore mystic and there is not anymore theology. And the biggest problem comes when, with this technology, we close the door of theology that mankind cannot be abused. The process of the change for the race of the man has started 3-4 weeks ago, and you have not come to understand, as I said, what a huge tanker has hit humanity. It's a hurricane of knowledge to bring positive change and to bring a new dimension. As I said, with the teachings, we have to spend time to teach you these things, that you understand what the next step is. And what is the responsibility of the Universal Council members to make their way to Linz? Is the responsibility of the Universal Council supporting to make their ways to Linz? Because you are there to support the transition. Is the responsibility of those who are devoted to serve humanity to dimension of reality and not collecting this and that, to make your way to Linz and bring that change. You become those candles that, when they put together, lightens up the whole city. And at the stadium is the humanity and the soul of humanity to see itself through these troubled times. I don't give up, and I will not stop. But it's for you to make sure that you don't give up and wait for the time that you die, for the soul to be free to go wherever it could be, and you have no choice on it. Where now, with understanding the process, you can see where you're destined. If you like the house you're getting, you like the position, or can you serve better in that position, or be somewhere else to do better, to serve more? In a way, you become the prophet of yourself and your soul, and you don't need no preachers. I have freed you from the shackles of what I call imprisonment of the soul of the man. It's you who have to take that soul where it is to, not me. Even though I still keep busy with this and that, because if I go in the dimension of the soul, what I call little children of man will do till you get to that. We need to guide you. We need to, in a way, bring you to the point that you reach the point of maturity and understand. Now you understand why we gave you the MacRabs, the enhancement unit, the what we call vision enhancement unit, and now the most essential for most of you is the what we call the energy power unit. Energy enhancement unit is not so much for you to reduce electricity. It's so much for you to enter the next dimension of doing it yourself in your time, in your dimension, and gradually free from the soul of the physicality, that the soul of the man works with it and not entrapped with it. The soul of the man is like a plasma inside the tokamak. And the soul of physicality is that magnetic field which keeps that plasma in tokamak or in CERN encapsulated. And they're hoping that they increase the soul of physicality so much that one day the soul will explode and creates the energy of the universe. I have given you that in a very simple system, that you don't need to go through all this nonsense. You decide when, and you don't need to be interrupted with the soul of physicality. Now you understand why we launch the energy system, why we launch the what we call flight vision simulation. It's the vision to see the universe and not for your eyes to get better. Thank you very much for today. And I hope I opened a little gap in what is and what to come. And part of the teachings, as past 2-3 years we taught you about the soul, will be about how to use this system, what to expect and what it is. There's no use giving you a car when you don't know how to drive it. There's no use for us to release and make accommodation for your soul to be free when you don't know how to use it. And we noticed that in the enhancement unit trial test. People come in and they sit, they've been through, when they speak to them, sit 1, sit 2, sit 3, they feel the energy, but they don't do anything with it. They want to. And the minute we tell them, you can travel to see anybody you like, or now you can travel and fly to whenever you like, they immediately do it because they need guidance. They need to, till they themselves decide, this is where I want to go, this is what I want to do. Thank you very much for today. And I hope I opened a door for you to understand what this technology now is about to bring you. And I hope you enjoy the trip. And those of you who will become enlightened, you will see most of it and more of it. And those of you who are still trapped in dimensional physicality, you'll say, I haven't seen anything yet. I don't feel anything. Because the physical dimension is more important than the dimension of the soul at that time and position and place. Thank you very much for today. And we go for a break. We come back, and if there's any questions, we'll try to find a solution to answer.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Kesh, once again in the Knowledge Seekers Workshop here, 440th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, July 7th, 2022. We'll take a short break now and be back in a few minutes. And we'll have a question and answer session at the second part of the workshop.